Hey everyone, I'm Thor Draper Jr. and welcome back to the Cyber Journey. First off, I want to thank you for all your support and for subscribing to the channel. Your feedback and questions really got me fired up, and it's amazing to post a video and get comments and questions so quickly. So today I'm going to be diving into a fantastic question from one of our new subscribers who's transitioning from being a trainer to a career in cybersecurity. So let's get started. In this video, we're going to discuss how to transition from being a trainer or an external field to a career in cybersecurity. We're going to cover the importance of certifications, hands-on experience, and projects, leveraging your existing skills, and staying updated with industry trends. And I'll also share some personal anecdotes and practical tips on how to help you on your journey. So this one comes from Chris Mallow, who says, currently trying to switch from being a trainer to cyber, studying web development at a college, 2 or more years. And I'm halfway through the Google IT cert, planning on Google Cybersecurity and Security Plus in the future. Thoughts on what else to do? Well, first off, Chris, awesome question. And thank you so much for subscribing and for your kind words. I'm glad to hear you're making strides towards a career in cybersecurity. I can tell you firsthand, we can use you. So let's break down your current path and explore what else you can do. So funny enough, this is actually almost exactly what my career path was. I went from sales to buying and selling a gym in Charlotte, where I was a trainer. And then during my downtime, I studied for certification and prepared for a full transition into IT. So cybersecurity was always going to be my target goal. My dad had a career in it, but I was one of those angsty teens who thought, that's my dad's thing. I'll find my own path. But sometimes the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. But I got serious in the middle of 2019, and my first certification was actually the ITF Plus, the most fundamental of all of the CompTIA certs. And while I don't have experience with the Google cert training, I've read that it's a great foundational certification program, and there's 2 years left on your college. So that's a fantastic amount of time for you to discover your learning style and accelerate your learning. One of the things that I think is most beneficial about that Google security program is the fact that there's so much training and people talking about it right now. It's a great time to be in it. And what I think is going to benefit you the most is you're learning multiple things from multiple people. You're learning from the school that you're going to, you're learning from the resources preparing you for the Google training certification. And what you really want to find and capitalize on is what your learning style is and what's going to help you rapidly learn material so that way it accelerates your learning. In IT, things are constantly changing. What I like to say is that you're only a few years from being one of the leading experts in a field because technology turns over basically every 3 years. So if you ride the wave or you get on a wave early, you might be an expert in 24 months. It happens that quickly. I've seen it. One of the questions that you asked was hands-on experience and projects. And one of the best ways to solidify your learning is through that hands-on experience. So since you're studying web development, I would consider going in a parallel line and consider building and securing your own web applications. Use smaller hardware devices like a Raspberry Pi. It's fairly affordable, and it'll get you a little bit familiar with Linux. So you can install a container, maintain an app, and specifically what I would do on that app is likely host your own resume on a website and then write it in a way that you could also port it to a Azure app service as well, or, AWS app service, something like that. But you could put the code out on GitHub. You want to market some of these areas. So GitHub not only is a good place for storing your open source code, but there's also this thing called GitHub Pages, which there are walkthroughs on creating your own personal blog. And I would say as you're doing these things, as you're doing your school projects, as you're studying, or you find helpful information to prepare you for that Google certification, put all of that information as you're getting it into blogs and into your GitHub repositories, because you're always, it's a great index because you can reference that material again. And some people want that same assistance. Like if you find some YouTube channel that is really beneficial from teaching some of those Google cert programs and domains, you just put all the resources that helps you get that aha moment, and it'll help someone else. The other thing is, a lot of the times we preach writing blogs or documenting things because you are going to write what helps you learn the material and master the material better than anybody else. So even if you're just doing a TLDR version of things, I think hosting it on your own personal blog through something like GitHub Pages, very beneficial. And one of the best perks about that, it is very free. So I would say as you're learning these things, try to keep your costs down as minimal as possible, as free as possible, really. Now, for the certification strategy and learning phases, I'll tell you a little bit about mine and I'll also show you. So prior to my first position at the MSP, I took the ITF fundamentals and then a few very fundamental Microsoft certs. Then I took the Cloud Plus in November of 2019 and Linux Plus in December. And that was my last one. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 certs, but they were all very fundamental and you could prep for it relatively quickly. But I was going from zero IT experience to pursuing a career in it. And what I ended up doing was jumping onto the CompTIA train for the most part. I did mix in a couple of other certs like the CCNA and VMware because those came from testing out of classes at the junior college I was going to. And I later found that there was a lot of cloud openings with Microsoft and AWS. And so I took the AWS Solutions Architect Associate in order to make myself a good candidate. And it worked out. It actually helped me get the Microsoft gig. So it's funny enough, the AWS cert was what got me to Microsoft and Azure. So I think with that first role, it was all about giving myself a foundation. And I absolutely talked about them because prior to you having experience, the only thing that you can really say is that you've been learning. But when you pass these certifications or you follow the track, it gives you the ability to say not only what I've done, but also it'll help you say what I'm going to do. And the other piece that's really good about following that CompTIA track, or if there's other more advanced certs with Microsoft Learn, they all have these nice little roadmaps. I recommend staying on one path for a little bit because test taking is absolutely a skill. And once you're in the flow and you start passing some of these certifications, you just stay in that flow. Stay in the flow of learning, stay in the flow of preparing, and the test taking piece will become a little bit easier each time. Next, let's move on to leveraging soft skills and networking. So as a trainer, you probably have strong communication and teaching skills, which are incredibly valuable in cybersecurity. So use those skills to your advantage in roles involving security awareness training, consulting, cross-functional teams. If you stay updated with industry trends and follow some blogs, some news, online courses, you can take those things that you're doing just to prepare yourself as a professional, attend some local meetups, go to a conference if it's free, lower expense. So that way you can network with other professionals and learn about their day-to-day experiences. Really use your X factor and your fearlessness of speaking to other people. In a world where applying is easier than ever, it's really important to create those connections in a new area. One thing I underestimated in my change was what my network was. It was a real challenge when all of my network was salespeople and people in California. And it took me a really long time and a lot of effort to create a similar network here in the IT space. So when I say utilize your X factor, you can absolutely stand out quickly. I figured in a field famous for introverts that I might be able to accelerate my opportunities by being an extrovert. Utilize that firsthand. I know that it works. So in summary, you're on a great path with your current studies and certifications. Challenge yourself with hands-on projects, pursue additional certifications, leverage your soft skills, and stay updated with some of those industry trends. And don't be afraid to utilize your X factor. Well, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Cyber Journey. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, comment, and let me know if there's a specific topic or question you'd like me to cover. Your feedback really helps me create content that truly resonates with you. So thank you so much for watching and welcome to the Cyber Journey. Bye.